times, life seems to demand all our attention. And when that happens, it's easy to feel distracted and overwhelmed and resistant to doing things you want or need to do. Turning your attention away from whatever circumstances surround you feels almost impossible. And so at these times, life gets in the way of your life's work. And it may also get in the way of your busy work, your work, your health, your relationships, hobbies, and of course, your peace of mind. And that's really a shame. It's a shame because when you don't accomplish what needs to be done each day, you end up feeling more overwhelmed, more anxious, more weighed down by life. And you get behind and people pressure you and you pressure yourself. When you don't pay enough attention to the things that you deem as important, like health, relationships, emotional well-being, you end up sick. You end up depressed or anxious. And then it becomes even harder, even more challenging to accomplish your goals or create what really matters to you. It's kind of a vicious cycle. Pay too much attention to life, and life becomes more challenging. Don't pay enough attention to life, and life becomes more challenging. I know this as well as everyone else. I'm a certified high performance coach, but I'm not immune. I too find life as something more interesting or compelling or concerning than what's right in front of me. And, that includes my to-do list, my exercise routine, even my marriage, right? Or my dog. And when I don't find ways to focus on what needs my attention, I get stressed and unhappy and unhealthy. And that makes it all more difficult for me to get shit done and to focus on what's so truly important to me personally and professionally. Between current issues in the United States, I'm not going to get political, but between all the stuff going on in the US and in the world, and a death in our family this past week, and a loved one's struggles that I'm trying to help with, I recently have spent way too much time procrastinating, resisting to doing the things that I know I need and want to do. I endlessly have been scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and visiting CNN's website or my email box and my texts, come to think of it. I watch a lot of baby orphan elephant videos as well. But rather than making me feel better, all of this just makes me feel worse because these activities leave me depressed and fearful and angry and behind on just about everything. Well, the baby elephants make me feel better, but I'm still behind on everything. And in that emotional state of being depressed, fearful, angry, overwhelmed, it's harder for me to focus on creating things that are important to me. And I know better. And when you know better, you can choose to do better. That's what I try to do. And I often succeed. So I thought I'd share some simple tips, trusting that they may help you stop focusing on lifing and get back to creating what really matters to you, right? Because life is always going to life. And so we need some strategies and tools to help us focus on what matters to us when life is lifing. So here are 4 tips. And I want to preface them by saying that they're not new or unique, but they work. And they're often shared for that reason, that they work. And I use them, and I'm proof they work. If they didn't work, this blog post would have never gotten written, or the blog post related to this video would have never gotten written, and I wouldn't have shot this video. I wouldn't have done any of it. I was procrastinating and focusing in all the ways life is lifing right now, but then I put these tips to use, and voila, I wrote and published a post, and I recorded the video, uploaded it to YouTube, all those things. Tip number 1, get off the internet and standard or social media. All news, social media, and other ways of keeping tabs on what's happening in your community, country, or the world have to be ignored, at least for a while. These things make you feel like you have to keep keeping tabs on what's happening all the time, constantly. And it's just not true that you have to do that. And these mediums are just not helpful. So you can check in at designated times, okay? Designated times for specific periods. So for example, decide to watch the news or scroll Facebook for 30 minutes per day. Choose a time block, and I mean put on your calendar a block of time. Block it out on your calendar, a time block, and only turn on the television or open social media during that time block. Set an alarm, and when it rings, get off, you're done. And I'm going to include in this tip staying away from virtual tools most of the day, which means texts and emails too. Tip number 2 is to focus on the things you believe are important. Now, if you utilize tip number 1, you now have a lot of time to do what needs doing because you've stopped all that scrolling and watching the news and all of that. You can spend the rest of your day on things you feel are essential. This could include your life's work, so maybe that's books or music, or you're creating books or music or a business, whatever, right? It could include health and fitness. It can include friends and family, hobbies, your job, whatever. And you're going to block time on your calendar for those activities. So treat them as actual commitments, okay? Like doctor's appointments, and show up for them. Focus on what's important during those time blocks. That's where you want to place your attention, on what's really important to you. And that doesn't mean that lifing isn't important. Many things that happen in your world are indeed important. And I don't want to negate that. I don't want to say that's not true. But by focusing on them with worry, stress, despair, that does nothing to change them. In fact, it can help more by being positive and energized and hopeful, because the more you focus on the negative, the more you create it. So you don't want to be doing that, okay? Okay, tip number 3, don't stop until you're done. Whatever activity or task you choose to do in those time blocks, do it until completion. Now, I realize some things can't be done in one sitting or one time block of an hour or 3 hours or even a whole day. However, you can focus on that project over a week, a month, or more until it's done. And during that time block, you don't want to be distracted. You want to just be focused on what's mattering to you at that moment. So, come back to what matters to you and create that. So if you feel like you're getting distracted, come back. Take actions that help you create what matters to you over and over and over again until it becomes a reality. Each time block you schedule for meaningful activities serves as an opportunity for you to focus on something that matters to you rather than on lifing. And you have to focus. You just do. That means you don't go to see what email just came in, or if someone commented on your latest Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky post. Well, you're just supposed to be focused on something that you claim is important to you and on nothing else during that time. So those things are put off until you've finished a task or focused for the allotted period of time in that time block, right? Tip number 4 is change your state. Tony Robbins is famous for saying that changing your state alters your mindset and your actions, and therefore your results. And changing your emotional, mental, physical state, even one of these, and you find it easier to shift your focus from lifing to whatever you feel needs your attention. So change your physical state with things like physical movement or breathing exercises. The same tools work to alter your emotional or mental state. Move your body, breathe deeply. You can also meditate or read something inspirational or motivational. Whatever it takes, change your state. Then turn your attention to what matters to you, and you're going to find it easier to ignore the current circumstances. Now, I want to just stress that it's not about motivation or inspiration. I often talk about motivation and inspiration, but when lifes and seems to demand your attention, getting shit done personally and professionally is all about brute force. And what I mean is that focusing your attention on something other than conditions and circumstances requires you to mentally, emotionally, and energetically choose to place your attention elsewhere and to follow through on that decision. And for that to happen, you need 3 things: commitment, self-integrity, and discipline, or self-discipline. Commit to focusing on something other than what's happening around you by being self-integral, keeping your promises to yourself about focusing and taking action in the time you block, right? Or the time you block for important tasks and projects, and develop the discipline to carry through on your commitments and promises, okay? Self-integrity increases with discipline, and discipline forces you to develop a specific behavior, like keeping a promise to yourself. Both self-integrity and self-discipline lead to the ability to keep your commitments. So if you want to stop focusing on lifing, apply these tips, and you're going to find yourself focusing on the things that matter to you instead and creating them. So I'd love to know, have you found a method to stop focusing on lifing? Tell me in a comment down below, and please share this video with those who you think might benefit from it right at this time when I'm recording this in February, end of February 2025. There are lots of reasons why people feel like they have to be focused on lifing. So these tips might be helpful. So share them, okay? If you want more strategies for focusing on what matters to you, join the Inspired Creator community. The doors are now open. This is again February 2025. They won't open again for 6 months, okay? Not until August 2025. So grab your spot now and the bonuses that are available right now. And I will put the link up above to join. I'm actually going to put a link, 3 ways to, well, I'll just put the link up for the Inspired Creator community, and then I'll put a link up for the 3 different ways that you can work with me. I'll also include the link for the Inspired Creator community down below. And you can watch the replays to my recent masterclass, Create What Really Matters to You. I'm going to put that down below. It's only available for a few more days, so till the 27th of February 2025. But it has lots more tips on how to focus your attention and not be stopped by your circumstances, okay? So I'd love to have you be part of the Inspired Creator community. So again, the link is up above. If you didn't see it the first time, it's in the second link. It has 3 ways to work with me. Just click on the one for the Inspired Creator community, or go to the replay link, which is down below. I'm only putting it down below because it's only good for another couple days. So anyway, if you don't know who I am, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I love to help people get from where they are to where they want to go by learning how to be someone who has the mindsets and habits that allow them to create what matters to them. So, you know, if you're feeling stuck, then I'm your gal to help you get from here to there. And I do that with personal and spiritual growth. The Inspired Creator community is a personal and spiritual growth coaching program and training program. And you know, that's my jam. I love to help people with their personal and spiritual growth, and to focus on that for myself as well. I was in a program like that for 4 years, helped me enormously, saved my marriage, helped me get my career back on track, and so much more. So yeah, so that's who I am. I'm also an author. I'm an author coach. I'm a certified high performance coach. I'm a transformational coach. And yeah, so if you're wondering how to work with me or what is the best way to work with me, click on the other link above that gives you a link. Click on the link and you will be given another link to sign up for a 15-minute session with me, and we can talk about the Inspired Creator community or the different types of coaching I offer and see if we're a good fit to work together. So with all that said, until I talk to you again, go out there and achieve more inspired results.